Crap. What is up, everyone? Here we are. Another random comic book review on this fine, cold Sunday morning. So, sit back, get a cup of coffee, and let's discuss my top 3 disappointing comic book series. First things first. I stopped by a couple flea markets this past weekend, not this weekend. I got 3 books from a vendor that you wouldn't think would have comic books. You know, he had a bunch of tools and stuff. Then he had a nice little pile right there in the middle. Caught my eye. What really caught my eye was in the bottom of the stack. I saw a little part of the word secret, and I got all pumped thinking, oh crap, a couple issues of Secret Wars, maybe just one. Grab these up. They turned out to be Secret Wars 2 issues, number 9 and number 4. So that's pretty cool because I already have issue number 3. So a little surprise add-on to a series that I wasn't particularly looking to add on to. But now, since I got 3 issues out of the 9, I'm going to keep my eye out, keep trying to add on to that. It's a weird, off-the-wall series that I don't know if a lot of people know much about, so hopefully I can gather the whole thing, and then I'll do a review on that. So, I am looking forward to doing a review for you guys on Secret Wars 2, this 9-issue run. So that was cool. And on top of that, the guy said, oh, 3 for $1. Heck yeah. So I grabbed the next one that I caught my eye. I got a West Coast Avengers. I just grabbed it. I didn't even look at it. And I got home. This is the number 1. Pretty cool. Not a really popular or sought after series, but still, if you're going to randomly grab a book from a flea market because a guy said 3 for 1, and then you find out it's the number 1 issue, not too bad. And yeah, I got all 3 of those for sorry, checking my mic. for 3 for $1, yeah. So that was really cool. Alright, so let's get on with the episode. It's going to be a nice short one. Nice wrapped up in a bow. Here we go. And I'm completely expecting for you guys to be up my shit for saying that these series were disappointing. This is my personal opinion. These were series that I was very excited for. These were series that I subscribed to, and I tried to give them a chance, and they just kind of fell flat for me. So let's get started. My number 3 of my disappointing comic book series would have to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends. So, this was an older series. I'm pretty sure this series came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was after the original run. The original 2 artists, Laird and Eastman, stepped down. And these guys, Carlson, Fosco, Papoy, and Gazowski, stepped in to do a new series, basically a direct sequel or continuation. And they tried a lot of new creative fun things, and I applaud them for that. It's what got me interested in the series. You heard that Donatello dies. Well, doesn't die, but they bring him back as a cyborg. That's weird. Raphael's face gets all messed up, so he starts wearing Casey Jones' mask, and then eventually he dons Shredder's suit and actually becomes the leader of the Foot Clan. You know, just a bunch of wacky stuff. I heard that Splinter becomes a bat at some point. I don't know. So I gave it a chance. Okay, so it got canceled after like 23 issues, and they never resolved it. There was never an ending. And then IDW picked up the rights to it recently, and decided to reissue it, recolor it, and finish it with 3 new issues. So that's pretty cool. So I got excited. I subscribed to it. I made it to the 4th issue. Here's right off the bat. First problem I noticed. First issue. First issue. No burning on any of the artists or anything, or the writers. But that being said, the artwork in these books are so effing busy. It's so mashed together. There's so much happening in one panel. It's just messy. It's so hard to tell what the heck you're looking at. It's like an I Spy thing. You're like, you gotta stare at it for 10 minutes to figure out, is that a turtle? What is going on? Is that blood? Like, it's just a bunch of mushed up colors. It's just hard to tell. That's one of my main complaints in this whole series, is almost every page where anything action is going on, I find myself trying to figure out what I'm looking at. And that's not good. It's kind of slow, kind of boring. And when things do happen, they don't happen for any reason in particular. They just kind of, it seems like they were like, throw some weird stuff here, throw some weird stuff there, let's get something weird here. I mean, it caught my attention for a second because the first page, spoiler alert, Donatello gets blasted to pieces with a machine gun. And that's definitely something new. But if that's the only way you're going to catch my attention, is by trying to kill one of the turtles, it kind of fell flat. I ended up unsubscribing after 4 issues, and I was pretty disappointed. So that was my number 3 of my 3 top disappointing issue series. A highlight was the panel where they buried Donatello's shell. Man, I almost shed a tear, and that's why, I mean, it was disappointing to not want to continue with the series. Alright, so on to a big one. My number 2 disappointing series. Man, my camera is just not happy today. The Power of the Dark Crystal. I'll give you a couple issues here to see. Alright, so The Dark Crystal, if you haven't seen it, it's a feature film made by Jim Henson, 80s, I believe. It's amazing. It has a huge cult following. They wrote an entire sequel to it. There was concept art. There was an entire script written to it. It was supposed to be made, and it never got made. So this script's just been floating around for decades. And on the 35th, there was talks that they were going to do they were going to do a sequel, and then that never happened. And then Boom Comics, I believe, picked up the right or the script or something, or were approached. I'm not sure. On the 35th anniversary, they made a 12-issue run of the sequel called The Power of the Dark Crystal. And this is a return to Thra, which is the place where they live, the land. It's like 300 years later, and Jen and his wife, the queen, have been sleeping all this time. Like, they had a bunch of babies and they repopulated the earth, and then they went to sleep. And things have gotten really bad since they went to sleep. And they introduce a new group of people from the inside of the core of the world, these firelings. And basically, it's just the same story over again, except for an attack on the people, the characters that we fell in love with in the first movie. So I get it. I get the conflict of it. Like, Jen thinks he's doing right. The fireling thinks she's doing right. There's a new underling, or whatever they're called. The artwork is kind of lackluster. There's no detail. It looks like it's a lot of thick line, one color palette, click and fill. Like, I don't know. I tried. I really tried. I made it all the way up to issue, like, I think 10 of 12, which is really, I should have just finished it. It would have been nice to have it, but at the same time, I wasn't really enjoying it, so why should I finish it? I don't know. There wasn't a lot going on in the story. Like, not a lot of, I mean, Jen hops on like some big bug and goes after them, and then you start hearing these, like, okay, so how is the elfling, the gelfling, that's what they're called. How is the gelfling, the new gelfling, gonna survive in the firelings realm when she basically lives in the core of the planet in flames and magma and stuff? So then you hear, like, she tells a tale of these two ancient people that are basically the same thing. They're gelfling and fireling, and their love somehow wrapped them in this, like, weird water bubble, and they could survive and live together. Which, I get it. Love conquers all. That's what these stories are about, and it's cool. But I think it just should have been a movie. I think they should have made the sequel. We are going to get a prequel Netflix series, so that's cool, and Jim Henson's Creature Shop is coming back to do that. So I'm excited about that. But this series, it fell flat for me. It really did. All right. Moving on to my number 1 spot, which this is where everybody's going to lose their shit on me. Spawn. And I'm not saying, let's get this straight, I'm not saying the whole series. I'm not saying the series as a whole. I only read, so far, the first 10 issues. My problem is, this is such a highly regarded, like, one of the most popular comic book series of all time. And I'm guilty of loving Spawn. I grew up with my brother being, loving it. He had the action figures. I watched the 98 movie and I loved it. I still love it. I'm pumped for the new one to come out. The artwork, I love Todd McFarlane's artwork and everything. So that's why I was excited to actually finally get to read the first run of Spawn and see what all the fuss was back in 92. It's really, really kind of boring and slow and, like, just, like, too dialogue driven. Even the origin story was, like, kind of rushed, and all the whole origin story is just him saying he doesn't remember, I don't remember. Oh, but you're doing things. You say you know who Wanda is, but you don't remember who Wanda is. I mean, none of it really makes even any sense. Something I am curious about that I would love to ask Todd McFarlane is, when he made the movie in 98, I wonder why he switched. Because in the comic book, Spawn's suit is a suit. He takes his mask off in the graveyard. I'm just curious on why he switched it to, like, a plasma whatever he calls it, ectoplasma suit. That, I mean, that looks cooler. Probably why he did it. It looks cooler in a movie than just taking a mask off. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping when he makes the new movie, I know we're gonna get another tell of the origin, which is this first 10 run, and I'm so tired of the origin of Spawn. I would love for them to move on. I'm sure the series got, like, that was Todd McFarlane's first series. Like, it took him so long to convince someone to even publish that series. So the artwork was a little lackluster for him, especially, and the storytelling was really slow and kind of boring. I'm sure it got way better. I mean, they're on issue like 200 and some now, and I see some of the pictures that they do, and they're like brutal and amazing, and the action's probably crazy, and crazy stuff probably happening. I'm not talking shit on the whole series. I'm sure it's great, and there's a reason that people love it. But if they're gonna do the new movie and he's gonna try to make it a horror flick and actually like scary and like monsters in the dark and stuff, I really hope they take some stuff from the newer series, not just the first 10 run. Because the first 10 run, I mean, I don't want to see like all the different TV news channels with each person talking. I know that was different for 92 and it was something new, but it's kind of boring to read in a comic book that you're expecting action and gore and, you know, hell spawns tearing people apart and, you know, like, all right, I'm done talking smack on one of the most popular comic book series in the world. So that was it. That's my, off the top of my head, my top 3 disappointing comic book series. You could still check them out. Give your opinion. Tell me in the comments how I'm wrong and why they're the greatest series ever. You know, I'm down for that. I'm down for some conversing with you guys. So number 3 was TMNT Urban Legends. Number 2 was The Power of the Dark Crystal, and number 3 was Spawn, the first 10 issues. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you're on the channel. Click the subscribe button, like it, share it with your friends, tell them about the channel. You know, we got all the sods coming up. We got the Strange Planet podcast on Wednesdays, Anthony's Wrestling Roundup. We got the comic book reviews. We got tons of music and live videos. I just had the pleasure of throwing a little music video together for a band that I recorded a few months back. It's on the channel. Check that out. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. We're on everything. Instagram. You can find us anywhere. Just look us up. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a good week.